Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sir. My name is Abdul Hafiz bin Abdul Nasir from DEK Section 1.
Good day, everyone. My name is Julian Lili bin Muhammad Sahli.
Assalamualaikum, sir. My name is Muhammad Hafiz Hadi bin Abdul Hadi.
Okay, today I would like to present about our mini project, which is titled is DC to DC boost converter circuit. Okay, introduction. Okay, first is DC to DC boost converter circuit. A boost converter is a DC to DC power converter that steps up voltage from its input to its output, which is load. It is a class of switch mode power supply containing at least two semiconductors, which is diode and transistor, and at least one energy storage element, capacitor or inductor. Okay, next is task given. Okay, one of the tasks given is principal operation. The key principle that drives the boost converter is the tendency of an inductor to resist change in the current by either increasing or decreasing the energy stored in the inductor magnetic field. In a boost converter, the output voltage is always higher than the input voltage. Okay, next is application. Battery power system often stack cells in series to achieve higher voltage. However, sufficient stacking of cells is not possible in many high voltage applications due to lack of space. Boost converter can increase the voltage and reduce the number of cells. Two battery powered applications that use boost converter are used in hybrid electric vehicle and lighting system. I would like to show how to get waveform for the duty cycle and waveform for the output voltage. Okay, first is setting the boost generator. Okay, our frequency is 25 kHz. Okay, for the period is equal to 1 over frequency. Okay, 1 over 25 kHz is equal to 0.00004. Okay, for the amplitude is 1. Okay, to get waveform for the duty cycle is that period and amplitude this. Okay, for the output voltage is also same. Okay, we click the scope 1 and then we get the waveform for the duty cycle. Okay, next is then click the scope that is connect to the output voltage. Okay, and then we get the waveform for the output voltage. Okay, thank you.
The analysis of the DC-DC boost converter circuit. These are some of the advantages of the DC-DC boost converter. The DC-DC boost converter offers high efficiency where it can even reach 99% efficiency. The DC-DC boost converter is also less troublesome in terms of components. These are the three main components of the DC-DC boost converter. The first one is the capacitor, the second one is the diode, and lastly the inductor. This is the circuit of the DC-DC boost converter. The operation. When the voltage source is applying current, the current to the inductor, diode, and capacitor, and also the load. Using magnetic capacitor to charge to the input voltage. However, it is charged to the value of Vs minus Vd due to this diode here. When the capacitor is charged, it will have energy inside it, and when it will discharge, all the energy will then move to the load. and not toward the diode because this diode is in forward bias. This is the signal source. When the signal source is high, this shifting device will be turned on, and all current will now be diverted to this switching device. This power source is not instantly short-circuited since the inductor is responsible for the relative low current ramping up. Not only that, a magnetic field will now be produced at the inductor. The polarity of the inductor, in which its positive side will then be connected to the positive side of the voltage source. And the switching device will then be turned off. When the switching device is turned off, all current supplied to the inductor will abruptly stop. Why? This is because the inductor is known for its smooth current flow. The inductor will not allow any sudden changes in the current flow. It is done by generating a high voltage, which is the opposite polarity of the voltage originally supplied to it, using the energy stored inside its magnetic field. Now, the inductor will now act as a voltage source. This shows that the anode of the diode is now at a higher voltage than the voltage source. And the current will flow again to the diode to the capacitor. However, the capacitor will now have more voltage than before. And during the switching turn on, the energy inside here will then be discharged to the resistor at a higher voltage. And here we have the result of the simulation. With the T off, we have 0.02 times 10 negative 3. The T on have 0.02 times 10 negative 3. The minimum inductor current at negative 9.71 times 10 negative 2. And the maximum inductor current, which is at 5.174 times 10 power of 1. The voltage output is 99.54 volts.
Assalamualaikum. I'm going to explain about the derivation of output voltage and voltage ripple. First, let me derive the voltage output equation. So to find the output voltage, we also can simply find the output voltage right here to calculating the voltage at capacitor, since it is parallel. So when the switch is on, the voltage at inductor is equal to voltage input. When the switch is off, the voltage at inductor will equal to voltage input minus voltage output. So the circuit is running at steady state, so it will get turn on, turn off, turn on, and turn off. As a result, the voltage balance in inductor requires the integral of the voltage in inductor B0 over steady state. So it means that the area under the steady state is equal to 0, and this brings us to its integration, and you can get the equation right here. And by substituting the equation here with duty cycle, we will get voltage input times duty cycle plus voltage input minus voltage output times 1 minus duty cycle minus time and equal to 0. Since duty cycle can only vary between 0 and 1, the output can only be higher than input voltage. So when we make the VO as the subjected variable here, you will get V input divide by 1 minus duty cycle.
Okay, now we are moving to measured and calculated values. So the first parameters is output voltage. From the simulation, we get 99.54 volt, and the calculated one we got 100 volt by using the formula V source divided by 1 minus duty cycle, which is 0.5, and we get 100 volt. So there is a slight margin difference there. And we move on to maximum current. Maximum current, the measured one is 5.174 exponent 1, and from calculation we get 5.25 ampere. So this is we get a very significant difference because the measured one, the simulation doesn't consider the error and the loss of heat, and the same goes as well as minimum current. We got measured negative 9.71 exponent negative 2, and from calculation we get 2.75 ampere. Next is parameters time off and time on. For time off, the measured is 0.02 exponent negative 3, and from calculation we get the same as the measure, and the second one is the T on. We get measure and calculation value the same. That's all for me. We have come to the final part of the presentation, which is conclusion. In a nutshell, DC boost converter produces higher output voltage from the induction and capacitance. This is very important if we want a higher output voltage from the already provided input voltage. We don't need to convert the DC to AC in order to just enhance the voltage. So by using DC boost converter, it will be easy to get output voltage that is high. So the DC boost converter allows us to get unregulated voltage to the regulated voltage. So as an example, unregulated voltage has noises or any other disturbance. So by using DC boost converter, we can get a very stable regulated voltage. The advantages of using DC boost converter, one of them is this converter is able to step up the voltage at lowest component count possible. And the second one is the circuit is easy to design since it only needs three important components, which is inductor, capacitor, and diode, or we use MOSFET nowadays. But the disadvantage of this converter is the efficiency is poor for high gain. High gain in a very large duty cycle. So this experiment we use 0.5. 0.5 is very optimum to get the optimal efficiency in this case. But if you use large duty cycle like 0.7, the efficiency will be deteriorated. That's all for me. Thank you.